All right, I want to show you how you can make really cute place cards for your table setting for Christmas or any time of the year, any holiday, and you don't even need to know how to brush letter well, right? That's the trick. We're going to hand a letter. I'm going to show you using the Brush Lettering An Artful Adventure Holiday Edition book how to do this. So inside the book, what you will do is you can find the monoline. You can use any of the guides in here, but I'm going to use the monoline. Now, other than the book, if you don't feel like going straight in on your place cards, right? So we're going to use this place card and put them on these cute little trees here for our Christmas table setting. So what you would need would be a piece of vellum or a piece of tracing paper, something that you can see through. Then you would need a piece, just a small piece of carbon paper, transfer paper, something that you can then get what you write on the vellum or the tracing paper onto your place card, right? So those are the couple of things that you'll need: a pen, whatever marker or pen that you're going to use to write your lettering. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to write, I'm just going to write a name, and I'm going to show you how you can use this book to write any name. Okay, so I'm going to take my vellum and I'm going to find the first letter of the person's name, and I'm going to try to keep this straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my brush pen because it's close, and I'm going to draw myself just a straight line so that I can try to keep everything straight on the paper. All right, so I'm going to come in and I am just going to, you can use a ballpoint pen, a pencil, whatever you have on hand. I am just going to piece the person's name together. So there's an A. I will flip through here and find the next letter of the name, which would be an L for me. And I am going to, now you can do it exactly as it is in the book, or you can kind of omit pieces of the word, right? So look right down here. I'm going to get this L and I'm going to just trace it right out of the book. I'm just not going to loop that letter crazily, right? So there's an A and an L. I'm going to find the next letter of the name, and you can do this with any name. Okay, so I'm going to use my E. I'm going to space this as best I can here, right? So I know that I want to connect my L to my E. So I'm going to just extend that line up, and I'm going to trace my E, right? But I'm going to leave it at the baseline. So I'm going to find my next letter of the name. Okay, so it's going to be an X. So I'm going to go to ALEX. So I'm going to connect, line it up, figure out where you can kind of join those letters. And I'm going to trace the X. I'm going to leave it at the baseline. I'm going to come in and do my little crossover. Now I need to go find my I. All right, so here's my I. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay my tracing paper or my vellum on there, and I'm going to match it up to where it's going to be nicely spaced. Actually, I want to bring it over a little bit more, right? That's the most important part, is just lining it up to where your spacing is going to be nice. I'm going to end it at that baseline. I'm not going to do my little swoop up because I want to be able to connect my two letters together, my next letter. So my last letter is an S. I found my S here. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to line that line up. See it down here? I'm going to line that line up and kind of space it where I want it. And now I'm going to come up from this bottom line and kind of then meet the S that's underneath of there. And I'm just going to trace it with my pen or my marker, and then I can finish that off. Okay, dot my I. Now, I can now take this. I have a name for my place card. I'm then going to come over and I'm going to line this up on my place card. So you'll see here, I got my place card. You're going to line it up. Okay. Line that up on your place card where you want it. Then you're going to slip that piece of carbon paper underneath. It fell on the floor. Now, you just don't want to lean too hard on the carbon paper because it will transfer over and you'll get like the black splotches on it. So we are just going to line that name up so it looks centered where you want it. If you're going to do like little decorations around it, you can do that as well. I'm then going to hold that tight. I'm just going to hold it where it's supposed to be, lift it up, put my transfer paper right underneath of there. And this is where you will need a ballpoint pen or a pencil or something with a firm point on it, because then you're just going to go from where your vellum is and trace what you've wrote on the vellum through the tracing paper, just like this. You can go a little slower. You can make that a little fancy. Okay, so when I lift this off now and I lift my transfer paper up now, I now have the name transferred on to my place card. Then I can come over with whatever marker that I have or want to use. Would be pretty to use gold. I'm going to use a white. I'm just going to use a white. So I have a white paint marker, and we're just going to make sure that the paint is flowing. And then I'm going to come in here now. It does take a little bit longer, but if you're not feeling like your cards would look the way you want them to look, feel free to use this little hack. So I'm going to come through now and just write over the name with the paint marker. Follow, right? So now, if I want to come in and make it look like calligraphy, we're going to faux it. So with calligraphy, we know with brush lettering, our upward strokes are our thin lines. Our downward strokes are the thick lines. So you can kind of, in the air, bring your pencil or your marker over and kind of note, this is a downstroke. I'm going to thicken it. That's up. I'm going to leave it be. This one I want to make a little bit thicker because it's a downward stroke. Okay. And I'm just going to, this is up. I'm going to then just come back in and thicken up any of those down strokes. You can go right over the thin strokes, but don't thicken them. So this is up, not thick. I'm going to swing back around and thicken this downward stroke. See how now I'm adding that thickness to the down strokes. Up is thin. This down stroke, I'm going to thicken that. Make sure it just flows nicely over into the thin stroke. The downward stroke of the eye. And lastly, that downward portion of the S, I'm going to thicken. And I can just go over my thin strokes to make them look a little bit whiter on this paper, right? So now you have really pretty hand lettering on your place card. You can then put this in on your plates at the dinner table. You can add them to cute little things like this tree, put them at everyone's place setting. Then you can come in and do all kinds of fun little things. You can draw little snowflakes, whatever you want on there. But you can absolutely just leave them like this. So if you like this, please like, subscribe, and share this video so that you'll be alerted as to any more creative videos that we post in the future. Make sure you share this little hack with a friend. And the holiday edition brush lettering book with all of these guides and lots of other fun guides, tracers, things to spark your imagination is on sale in our store right now. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I can't wait to see what you come up with creatively. Bye.